Okay, take two, and welcome to Critical Weight Theory. Today we're going to be talking about Patti Smith. She didn't just enter the punk scene, she wrote its poetry. That's right, Patti Smith is an artist, icon, and disruptor. She's been called the Godmother of Punk and the Punk Poet Laureate, and not without reason. Her work helped define an entire cultural movement, fusing raw sound with literary fire. But her story goes beyond music. Patti Smith was born on December 30th, 1946, in Chicago, Illinois, but her roots grew deep in New Jersey, where she came of age before moving to New York City in the late 60s. And that's where everything began to change for her and for art itself. So, New York wasn't just a backdrop, it was the crucible. Patty once said in a BBC interview, New York is the thing that seduced me, it's the thing that formed me, New York is the thing that deformed me, and New York is the thing that I love too. So, I kind of paraphrase that a little bit, but you get the idea. It was there that she met photographer Robert Mapplethorpe. Their bond, part friendship, part artistic collaboration, became legendary. She wrote about it in her 2010 memoir, Just Kids, which won the National Book Award for Nonfiction. It's said to be a haunting, beautiful look at youth, art, and fate. As People magazine put it, quirky and spellbinding. But let's go back to 1975. Patti Smith releases her debut album, Horses. The cover photo shot by Mapplethorpe. The music was a fearless blend of rock, punk, and poetry, and her voice was rough, raw, and unmistakable. There really is nobody else who has her voice, and I think most people would not want to imitate her style too much. Songs like Gloria, a reimagining of the Van Morrison classic, weren't just covers, they were transformations, with lines like, Jesus died for somebody's sins, but not mine. Smith redefined what a woman's voice in rock could sound like, and she definitely had some iconic musical moments. Critics and fans alike felt the shift. Horses didn't just make noise, it made history. And she didn't stop with that album. She had future albums like Ethiopia, Easter, and Wave. Each carried the same mix of urgency and intellect, part scream, part sermon. And then there's Because the Night, one of her most well known songs. Well, probably is her best known one, co written with Bruce Springsteen. It's a soaring, timeless love song that showed Patti could do tenderness just as well as rage. And her lyrics never played it safe. Pissing in a river, rock and roll, not gonna say that word. But, her work provoked, questioned, and demanded. She transformed language, and she had a raw style, a raw sensibility. Patti Smith was never here to entertain. She was here to also wake people up, make them question the world around them. Author and critic Carolyn Coon once said, it would be possible to write the whole history of punk music without mentioning any male bands at all. So that's debatable. It's sort of it might be a little bit of an ode on feminism moment. But nevertheless, she's referring to people such as Patti Smith in that type of statement. And, that's the level of influence that people like Patti Smith carried. Punk wasn't born in a vacuum. It was built brick by brick by all sorts of different people. And her art isn't confined to music. Patti is a published poet, visual artist, and thinker. Her 2022 book, A Book of Days, offers a visual diary of sorts, snapshots of a life lived at the creative edge. And in the 21st century, Patti Smith kept releasing music, like Banga in 2012 and Horses live at Electric Cities or Electric Lady Studios in 2025. I don't know why I said city. I guess maybe the word electric made me think of city, and there was the word lady right after it. I could kind of merge the two words together, I guess. But it showed that even 5 decades into her career, she hadn't lost a step. She was still putting material out there. And she received the Polar Music Prize in 2011. That's Sweden's version of the Nobel for Music. It was a recognition not just of her albums, but of a lifetime of influence, which is 50 plus years and counting. So Patti Smith didn't just blend rock and poetry, she broke down walls between them. She made space for women in punk without asking permission, and she wrote without rules. She performed without fear. She made being spiritual but not religious sound like a manifesto. She's not just an artist, you know, she's beyond category. And Patti Smith taught us there's power in being raw, that art doesn't have to be pretty to be true, and that sometimes the most radical thing you can do is just speak and say something unique. So, if you like this episode, despite my mistakes that I made because I jumbled words up, well, you can review the episode and tell someone about it, and until next time, stay wild, stay loud, and stay real.